Quite often I get asked the question, Larry, what do I do when my child calls me up on the phone and says, hey dad, I forgot my instrument, I forgot my homework, will you come bring it down to me? Now, can you relate to such a question? First of all, it's not your problem. It's your child's problem. So many parents frantically just say, okay, well, that just adds one more thing that I need to do. I need to go take the instrument to Jimmy. Relax, take a chill pill. It's not your problem. It's your kid's problem. Now, several videos ago, I shared the 5-step process in helping your children solve their own problems. But initially, when they call you and say, hey, dad, mom, will you, I forgot my math homework, will you bring it down to me? Oh man, that's a bummer. You forgot your homework? That really stinks. You want to show some empathy. You want to show some compassion. How effective is that versus, well, if you'd have put it by the door like I told you to, you wouldn't have forgotten it, you wouldn't be in this problem. All of a sudden, when you talk like that to your kid, you become the bad guy, you take ownership of the problem, and all they're thinking about is how mean dad is or how mean mom is, and not, man, I made a choice that really affected my life in a bad way, okay? So you want to show some compassion, you want to show some empathy. Man, what do you think you're gonna do about it? Well, I was hoping you could bring it to me. Well, I can understand that. I can imagine you thinking that way, but you know, the problem is I just have a lot to do around the house and I'm just not gonna have the time to run it down. You know, what do you think you're gonna do? Well, I don't know, Dad, I really need this homework. I know you do, I'm sure you probably do. It sounds pretty important. Well, what do you think you should do? I don't know. What if I did some extra contributions to make up for the time and you coming down here and bring, well, you know, I think that's a good idea, that might work out. And so you help them to solve their own problem and to work it out. Now, if you're not in a position to even bring it down at all, that's when you say, hey, oh man, that's a bummer, you left it. What do you think you're going to do? Well, I hope you could bring it down to me. Well, I can imagine you feeling that way. That's just not gonna work out. Well, what do you want me to do, Dad? I don't know, son. This is your problem, and you know, I'm sure you'll figure it out. You're a bright kid, you know, I love you. Well, Dad, I don't know what to do. I bet it feels that way, son. That's a bummer. That's a bummer not to know what to do, but you'll figure it out, son. Man, I'm sorry you left your homework or your band instrument. That's a bummer. So you want to allow them to solve the problem, not you rush in like a helicopter and save them from life's consequences and life's problems. The sooner your kids solve their own problems, the better prepared they are for the future and for what the real world has to offer. For additional helps, like my Facebook page, Live with Gratitude.